Now, you have probably seen 1,000 videos about narcissistic mothers or maybe psychopathic fathers, but we almost never talk about the psychopathic mother. Now, to be totally clear, right off the bat, true clinical psychopathy is incredibly rare. It is absolutely not the norm. But for the people who actually grew up with a psychopathic mother, the reality is so deeply disorienting. It's like living in a psychological funhouse mirror where nothing makes sense. Here's what this dynamic actually looks like in real life, what it does to a child, and how you can start to heal. So, what are the signs? The mask versus the reality. A psychopathic mother rarely looks like a villain. I mean, she does not look like Cruella de Vil in the movies. In public, she's often the ultimate supermom. She might be the one organizing the school bake sales, hosting the neighborhood parties. Everyone says how sweet and wonderful she is, and constantly talking about how much she sacrifices for her kids. But the moment the front door closes and the audience is gone, the mask drops. Unlike a narcissistic mother who acts out of a deep, fragile need for attention and validation, a psychopathic mother is driven by the cold desire of total control. She genuinely does not possess the capacity to care about how others feel or to genuinely, for a matter of fact, even at all, love anybody else. Here is what that looks like in a home. Calculated mind games. She just doesn't get angry, she plans her anger. She might quietly tell one sibling that the other is talking behind their back just to watch them fight. Or she'll wait until a quiet family dinner to casually reveal a deeply personal secret you begged her to keep quiet, watching your reaction with total detachment, actively sabotaging your joy because she herself genuinely cannot experience happiness or joy. Life is empty. Seeing you happy feels like an insult to her. If you get a promotion, she might suddenly claim she has a medical emergency, so the focus shifts right back to her. If it's your wedding day, she might, well, forget her dress or pick a fight right before you walk down the aisle, completely draining the joy out of your milestone. Now, the total lack of comfort, if you scrape your knee, get your heart broken, or cry in front of her, looks like complete detachment, lack of reaction, or she might react with anger instead of warmth. She just looks at you. It's flat, it's empty, almost bored, staring at you. To her, your pain isn't anything to comfort. It's just status she can use later. So what is the outcome? There is an invisible toll. Growing up in this environment forces a child into a perpetual state of survival. You aren't learning how to be a person, you are learning how to manage a threat. The legacy of this kind of childhood usually shows up in a few distinct ways. First, you doubt your own reality because she's constantly rewriting history. You might find yourself double checking your own memories. You ask yourself things like, did she really say that? Or am I just being, well, like she says, dramatic? You learn to trust her version of events over your own eyes and your own ears. You become an expert mind reader. Number two, you develop a hypervigilance that is exhausting. You could read the tiniest shift in a room's energy, the pitch of a footstep, or that micro expression on someone's face, constantly waiting for the next psychological trap to snap shut. Three, you carry a quiet, heavy grief. There is a unique pain in realizing you are mourning someone who is still alive. You carry a deep longing for a mother's warmth while slowly realizing that the person who raised you never actually was capable of giving it. So, how do we heal? Healing from a childhood that felt like a psychological chess match is a unique process. It isn't about repairing the relationship or waiting for her to finally understand what she did. It's about reclaiming your own mind. Accept the biological limit. This is the hardest pill to swallow, but it is also the most necessary and most liberating. She did not fail to love you because you weren't lovable, because you weren't smart, because you weren't quiet enough, or because you weren't successful enough. She failed to love you because she lacked the neurological hardware to do so. You could not squeeze water from a stone, no matter how hard you try. So, how do we build unbreakable boundaries? Healing cannot happen while you are still being actively manipulated. For many survivors, this means going completely no contact. For others, it means putting up massive, boring boundaries where you only discuss the weather or sports, giving her absolutely no personal leverage to use against you. And this is very, very difficult to do. Neither is an easy choice to make. Now, how do we go about reprogramming that inner critic, that harsh, cold voice in your head that tells you you're unlovable or that you're always doing something wrong? That isn't your voice, first of all. That is her voice left on loop. Healing means actively pausing when you hear that critical voice and reminding yourself, hey, that doesn't belong to me. That's not my stuff. Now, if you grew up in the shadow, the fact that you could still feel empathy, warmth, and love today is quite a miracle. It means that despite everything, she did not break you. You are so resilient. You are so strong. Now, if this resonates with you, please leave a comment below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I'm Barbara Duchnowski, licensed clinical social worker and narcissistic abuse treatment clinician.